Hey guys, it's K Squared here, and if I'm coming in and out of focus, it's Adam's trying to focus the camera for me. We're going to be talking about all my palettes, and these are just my eyeshadow palettes. These aren't my contouring, these aren't like my bronzing blush highlight palettes. These are strictly just eyeshadow, and I will not be going into them detailed because I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not doing that again. Okay, so we're just going to jump right in, no particular order, just going through my palettes. First thing I'm going to talk about is the Tarte Rainforest After Dark, and this is a kind of more of a cool toned palette. It's great for traveling in the winter. I actually love these palettes, and I really hope Tarte comes out with more because these are awesome. I love the fact that you have the blush, the bronzer, and the highlight all here with 6 shadows. It's amazing. I said I wasn't going to go into detail. I lied. And the next thing is this is the Hard Candy palette. I don't know what it's called. There's 3 different names on the back. And it's just kind of like a bright colored palette. It's got some really pretty shades. That blue is really pretty. But I've never used this. I don't think I will because it's just the quality of the shadows isn't there. They're kind of chalky. But I'll give it a try and see if I can maybe get them to work. And then I have, this is like no particular order. Then I have the Too Faced Romantic Eyes palette. And I actually have only used this palette once, and that was not on myself. I did my girlfriend's makeup. And it's really, really pretty. It's got some really pretty colors. But I think I'd better use this in the spring versus the summer. Plus the packaging is really bulky. But I prefer this over the stupid tin packaging. I hate the tin packaging. Speaking of tin packaging, we're going to be talking Too Faced Rock and Roll palette. And again, it's got some pretty intense shades. Some really like very shimmery. I see it's more of like an accent palette versus like a total palette. It's really pretty. I just have never used it. Just get on that. Then we're gonna jump right into Urban Decay. This is the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. It is a cool toned neutral palette. My sister absolutely loves this. I've tried to use this and it just didn't work well for me. Not like the colors. I'm not a neutral person. Except I did my eyes in neutral today, but I'm trying to branch out. Then this is the Tarte Showstopper palette, and it is really similar to the other one I showed you, except for this is more of a summery spring kind of look. It's got an orange blush. It's a little bit warmer than the other one. And again, I really love these, and I really, 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 really wish Tarte would come out with more because these are awesome. Plus the packaging is on point, like awesome. Then I have the Too Faced chocolate bar palette, and this smells like chocolate. And this is in the newer packaging. They had another one that was a bit bulkier. This is the newer one, and it's just a neutral palette with some like random colors shoved through. I really like this. I think I used this to do my look today. Yeah, I really, really like Too Faced, as you'll see. This is one of the newer ones to my collection. This is the Buxom Create Your Own palette, and these are not the colors I originally would have chosen. But this is really all they had that I liked. But I think that these make a pretty combination, and they're really pretty colors. And I really, really like these. This was only 40 bucks for like, the shadows were like 14 apiece. And the next thing is the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate, and I love this palette. This is probably my favorite of the two. That pink sugar shade is amazing. I absolutely love this, and I'm definitely going to be using this more. Then I have the Naked 3. Like I said, no particular order. And this is a rosy toned nude palette. And I'm really starting to really like this. I didn't like it when I first bought it. I bought it because like everybody has to have a naked palette. And this one spoke to me the most. But yeah, no, I'm really digging this palette. And this is the Too Faced Cat Eyes palette, and I've never actually used this. I think I've swatched it. Again, like, just, I need to start using some of these. But, again, I don't think this can create a complete look. I really think you have to have other shadows. But, I mean, you could probably get away with making a look with this. But, it's really pretty, really great quality. I love Too Faced. I just don't use these very often. The next is the Sugarpill Addicted to Pretty Heartbreaker palette, and this has Acid Berry, Velocity, 2 AM, and Mochi. and I get a lot of use out of these. They are stunning. I love these shadows. Super good quality. The next two, and I'm just going to do these together, are the Lorac Alter Ego Heartbreaker and Alter Ego Heartbreaker and Dream Girl. I'm sorry, this is Dream Girl, this is a Heartbreaker. And these kind of like consider together, even though I did purchase them separate at two separate locations. This one was available at Kohl's, this one was at Ulta. I really like both of these. Again, I don't use them very much. I just have so many palettes that it's just hard for me to get in there and use the ones I've got, especially when you keep them in a container like this. And it's just deep and it's hard to see what you've got. So you just reach for the same things over and over and over again. Eventually I will get a better system set up. The next two are the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. This is the Artist palette, and this is one of my favorites. I will probably love this palette till the end of time. It's awesome. This is the newest palette to my collection, and I will be doing a first impressions on this. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Shadow Couture World Traveler palette. And again, I really, really, really like these. These are really beautiful quality and really, really actually very pretty shadows. This is the Toothpaste Sugar Pop palette, and this is one of my die-hard favorites. I've loved this one for months since I first got it. When I first saw this palette, I knew I had to have it. It's just so me. And I've used this so much, and I've barely made a dent in any of the shadows. They're really good quality, and they're really, really nice. The next one is the Urban Decay Electric palette, and you probably all know what this is. It's an electric palette. It's neons and brights, and I use a lot of these, especially that one. Thrash is one of my favorites, but I do like the other ones too. So I should probably make a point to use more of these other than just the bright greens. I love me some bright green. This is the Jaclyn Hill Morphy Collab palette, and I absolutely love this. I wish they were better to travel with, because how awesome would this be to travel? Like, but I'm so afraid the packaging is so flimsy that, like, I'm so afraid it's gonna break. But yeah, the shadows are amazing quality, and you get a ton for your money. And Jaclyn Hill loves it, so what's not to love? That's actually my only Morphy palette. The next one is the Urban Decay Vice Limited palette, and I've actually not used this very much. The reason I bought it was bright green. I love this palette's color. It's got some gorgeous colors in it. I just don't use it. But Vice 3, which is this next one, is one I use constantly. It's actually my mirror right now because I don't have a good mirror, but I use this constantly. It's probably one of my top 3 palettes. The next one is the Kat Von D Shade Light Eye, and this is just a matte neutral palette. I love this thing. I'm not super inspired by neutrals, but this one gets me. This palette gets me. And then there is the Kat Von D Chrysalis palette. And this is just a more of a purpley cool toned, I don't know if I'd call this cool tone palette, but it's gorgeous and I love this, and as you can see I've used it a lot. I highly, highly recommend at least one of her palettes because they're amazing. This is the Kat Von D Monarch, and an orange palette. It's kind of an orangey toned palette. And actually, I get a lot of mileage out of this one too. I want to use this. Why didn't I use this today instead? Because I'm crazy. The next two are Tarte. I think that might be all my Tarte palettes. This is the Tarte Poppy Pick. Okay, so I have the eyelash curler and this, but this is just a very beautiful palette. I love the packaging. I don't normally like this metally packaging where you can see the fingerprints, but this with this embossed, or not embossed, but this kind of like raised color, it's really pretty, and you don't see the fingerprints as much on the front. The next one is this one came from the QVC set, which I have the whole set of QVC. I've used this one a lot too, as you can tell. This is the Be Your Own Tartist palette. This is just beautiful, nice. This blush, oh, this blush is to die for. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna swatch. I said I wasn't gonna swatch. The next one is the Too Faced Natural Matte palette. And I do want natural eyes, but I really, really love this one. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is one of my favorite matte palettes, besides the Kat Von D. Alright, this is the Urban Decay Shadow Box. What are you? Shadow Box. And it's just one of those small Urban Decay packages or palettes. It's got all shimmer, no mattes, but it's got some really unique shades, and I've gotten a lot of mileage out of this one too. And this is another Urban Decay, and this is the Ammo box, or the Ammo palette. All again, no mattes, just shimmer, and there's some really pretty black glitter. Ooh. Just looks like that. Not really anything you can say. It's so similar shadow box, but kind of different tones. This is the Maybelline The Brights palette, and oh my gosh, was this palette disappointing. You can get these shadows to work, but the quality is just not there. And yeah, just not good. Tried to use this, and it just made my eyes look like a mess. It was bad. But I'm going to try and give it another try. Maybe try to work with it a little bit more, but no. And this is officially the smallest palette I own. This is the Makeup Forever Create Your Own Palette Trio. And I don't know the name of the colors. I will link them down below. I will post them down below. But it's just one that I went to Sephora and made myself. You get a huge discount if you get all three. I will be buying more of these. These are amazing shadows. So good. And this is the Stila Eyes Are the Window Shadow Palette Body. And it's got just some really pretty hues. It's got a pretty peach, some really pretty blues, and a lot of purples. And I really love this palette, actually. Like, I used to use it a lot, and then I quit using it. I might actually pick it up again before fall comes, and I can kind of get away with wearing more of these. Alright, last but not least, we're seriously on the last palette, guys. And I've had this palette for years, but I will not get rid of it. This is the Urban Decay The Fun palette. But she bought this for me, and you can just see I've used the hell out of it, especially this purple color. But yeah, I just can't get rid of it. I know the shadows, they're probably bad. They probably need just to be getting rid of, but I can't bear to part with it. It's too special. So it's just gonna stay. And when the shadows are either done or they're completely expired, I'll keep the bag for sure. But that was all of my eyeshadow palettes. Keep in mind, this is what I've been collecting for a year. I'm probably going to expand my collection quite a bit, so we'll see where this is next year. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment down below if you have any suggestions or comments or whatever. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want. I would love to have you here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye.